Hi, the reason I'm making this video is to draw your attention to a new kit being offered by Jameco Electronics called the Spinning Top Brushless DC Motor that you see featured here. And I wanted to take a minute to go over the various features of the motor and discuss what does and does not come with the kit. The things that you're going to get with the kit are the wire, this breadboard right here, all these components you see here, which consists of 4 resistors, 2 transistors, and on the back 2 little LEDs down here, and the battery holder. That's what comes with the kit. Also available on the website is the complete instructions for building this little motor, which will include detailed instructions on how to make the plexiglass base, as this one here, cutting out 2 notches. There's quite a variety of ways. You don't have to use plexiglass if you don't want to get that detailed. I like the plexiglass because it's clear and the lights kind of shine through it. It makes a neat night light, but it might keep you awake at night because it makes a little noise too. So if you don't want to go with plexiglass, very simple base you can make for your motor is to just take a piece of wood, anywhere from 1.5 inches wide. This one here is about 2.5 inches wide. And you can actually glue popsicle sticks over the end of it. And then once the glue is set, you can wrap your wire in between this, so this becomes your bobbin here. So there's quite a variety of ways. There's also, if you've got some cardboard similar to what they use on the back of a notepad, you could actually cut about 4 pieces of cardboard, glue them together using Elmer's glue or something like that, and then follow the instructions on how to put the notches in and so forth on the base, and just have a cardboard base. So you can make the base out of pretty much any material you want, so you're not totally limited to plexiglass. I just like it because it looks cool. The top itself consists of a magnet, which is available from K&J Magnetics. There's a link to this magnet on the website. It's a diametrically magnetized magnet, which basically means instead of having North Pole on one flat side, South Pole on the other, they actually divide it this way, and the North Pole's on one half and the South Pole's on the other. You'll want to get a diametrically magnetized magnet. They also have on K&J Magnetics a little magnet that is about half of this size. This is a 1-inch magnet, and so it's the 1/2 inch. It will also run the motor just fine. The spindle here is a number 3 sewing needle. It's made out of aluminum, I'm assuming. And I just took and cut the end of it off. You get the double pointed needles. There's usually 4 or 5 to a pack, and you'll pay about $5 for them. And all you need is the end of one of the needles. You can just cut it off with a hacksaw, and then gently tap it down into the center of the magnet, and that's all you have to do. You don't have to glue it. You don't have to do anything else. And then the mirror is the other piece that you'll have to acquire. This mirror I got from a local department store. Go into the cosmetics section, and they have these magnifying mirrors. This one magnifies is a ×10. I've used ×5. They also make them up as high as ×15. And it makes a nice little concave surface for the top to sit on. I actually have been able to use other things. I found a lens out of an old overhead projector, and I was able to use that. The lens that goes in the head assembly, it makes a nice concave lens. You could use a laboratory watch glass. I mean, in a pinch, you can actually just spin the top on the countertop if you can't seem to find the lens, and it should spin just fine. But the friction, of course, is a lot more. So keeping a good distance from the top will help it spin up a little faster usually. But you can keep it going for a long time. The smoother the surface, the better. If you bring it in close, you'll get the top to start spinning, but then after it spins up, it's a good idea to actually pull the base back a little bit from the top. It'll spin a lot faster. close, it has more torque, it seems. If you want to go for a motor that you're actually going to put to work, then you want your magnet real close to the coil. If you back it off, you get more speed. Now, the thing about the kit from Jadenco is the fact that you're not limited to just building this motor. And so that's a good reason why all these other additional pieces are not included in the kit. The electronics assembly that you do get, however, will run a variety of motors, and we're going to start going down the list here. The first one over here is what I call my pendulum motor. And it just sits there and goes kind of back and forth. Eventually it'll build up enough momentum to actually go over the top. You could, if you wanted to, turn this into a big wheel and put magnets all the way around it, and it would spin along just fine. It's kind of a fun motor to make. Now, this motor actually has one component that does not come in the Jadenco kit, which is a little green capacitor right down here. And all that does is it helps it start up. Now, if you want to experiment with that capacitor, you simply take it and put it from the base of one transistor to the base of the other transistor. It just goes between the two bases. That one there, I believe, is about a 0.22. A 0.1 microfarad will work as well. And all that capacitor does is it helps the motor sense the magnets and fire it. The beauty of these motors is the fact that there are no sensors. There's no optical sensors, there's no Hall effect sensors, there's no reed switches. They purely self-synchronize, so you don't have to worry about timing, sensors, positioning, any of that. This motor here, I call it my plumb bob, and as the magnet comes down into the vicinity of the coil senses it. This one also uses that same little capacitor across the base of the two transistors, and it just helps it sense the magnet, but not all the motors need it. Next over here we have a magnetically levitated motor. This one you start it by just giving it a little spin, so it does not need the capacitor, and so it'll just sit there and spin, and it's balancing on these magnets that you see here. So you can build all of these motors. I have three more spinning top motors over here. And these are the smaller magnets that I mentioned earlier. This one here, I made a wooden top just to see if it would work with standard magnets. And you can see how I've stuck all these little ring magnets together down in here. And made a top out of wood. It doesn't work really good, but it also does spin. And we have a wooden base. This base was completed out of wood. So you're not limited to just what the options are in the kit, but the kit's been a lot of fun. This is one that I kind of polished up. I put feet on the bottom of it and these standoff legs. This curved piece of glass here came out of an overhead projector. So I'll take one of these little 1/2-inch magnets here. We'll turn this guy on. And we'll use one of these little magnets. And we'll get him spinning up real good. There we go. And once he's spinning, he'll just sit there and go and go. He's a little bit noisier. This one over here. Another motor that I've built with this exact same circuit again. This one does not have the capacitor, but it's got these great big magnets. These things are 1.5 inches in diameter, 1/4 inch thick, and he just wants to run. He'll fire off. As soon as that thing moves, the coil senses it. But this one, the magnet is actually mounted inside of the coil, but it's the exact same circuit that drives it. And this one over here has been my new experiment, my little, kind of looks like a racetrack. And see if we can get him to go. So you get the idea that all these motors will run from that same exact circuit that you find in the kit. So how you want to build the kit is entirely up to you. You can go with the spinning top design, or you can actually build this base and then use it to run other motors. For example, if I take the battery out of this unit and I put the base up here and give that a little spin, it doesn't spin it as well, but it does run the motor. So you're not limited to the type of motor that you want to run. Another fun thing to do is actually sometimes it's fun to take two bases and you can put them horizontally opposed to each other like this, and then you can spin it up really good that way. And they'll just go and go and go. But I wanted to encourage you that, you know, this one kit will provide a lot of fun. You can have a lot of hours of enjoyment like I have building these things. The coils themselves are actually two coils in one. It's a bifiller winding, so you're winding two wires at the same time. So the kit, I believe each spool in the kit is over 500 feet. Which means that I wasn't able to get the full 500 feet onto the base, but I think if you cut the notches, well, maybe another ½ inch deeper or so, or ½ inch deeper, you'll probably be able to get all the wire. The more wire, the better. It just makes it easier for the circuit to see the magnet. And you know when the circuit sees the magnet because the lights pulse. You see how that light's pulsing as the magnet comes around. And that's what gives it the kick to make it keep spinning. So it's been a lot of fun. I wanted to encourage you to visit the website. The manuals and schematics are available there for download. All you have to do is go to Janeco Electronics, type the word spinning top into the little search dialog at the top of the screen, and it'll take you right to the kit. So happy building, and hope you enjoy it. Thank you.